What's going on YouTube is Donnie B all day. So here's the deal. The last two videos I did, I think, maybe the last two or two of the last three, whatever it was, left me in like a knife depression, man. I was so bummed out. So, but we'll really get into the last video I did. I did a video comparing edge strength between the K-Bar Big Brother and the dbad Mission 4. And the only reason I did it, because I would have never done this, is because it was kind of like a challenge. And I kind of have that thing like Marty McFly, where it's like, what are you, chicken? Never call me chicken. And that's the thing, man. Somebody put it out there. And even though it goes against every belief I have and against every fiber in my body to never, ever disrespect the steel, I disrespected the steel. I went edge to edge. And if you watch that video, you all know what happened. The Rambo took less damage than this one, but they both took damage. I mean, it was a good contest, I guess, if you can call it, but it really wasn't. It was like, how do I say this nicely about myself? It was like a dick move. So to me, the blade is an art, right? It's an art form to make these things. And this is one of my all-time favorite knives. Not the K-Bar Utility, but the K-Bar Big Brother. This is one of my all-time favorite knives. I freaking love it. If I was going to redo it, what would I do? Well, first of all, I would have a bit of just a slightly wider blade. Definitely in this one because it's been taken down. Second, it would be thicker stock than this. Third, it would probably be 5160. Fourth, it would have a better grip. And it's not to say that this one's not, I mean, it's not horrible, but the leather stacked grips are so out of date that it kills me. It's like, all right. And then they do that black one. It's kind of like a rubber. I forget what it's called. Craton, black Craton. No, come on. All you're doing is you're taking the same exact thing and you're basically just changing the material, but it's the same grip, changing color. Now we could sell both of them because now people are going to be so stupid. They're going to be like, oh, now I need two because it's different. It's the same knife. It's the same freaking knife. Just got some rubber on it. But it's not just the fact that it's stacked leather. It's the fact that I mean, maybe it's not too small. I think it feels small because after you hold a knife with a proper grip, it makes it feel small, but it does. It kind of has that dinky feel like you need something more to grab. Right here in this section is really tiny. It's very thin. It's very small. So you lose a little bit of grip. The thing is with this one, it has a really, really great weight distribution with the extra amount of blade to go with the hammer end, because all this weight on the utility blade, on the USMC, sucks. It makes it so bad. So having it on this one, it actually kind of balances itself out, and so this doesn't kill me as much as it does on the other one. But I still wish from here back it was a different knife. I wish from here over it was a different knife, and maybe a little bit from here down a little bit of a different knife. And you do notice here's the Ricasso, how much material I had to lose, and I'm going to get into that in a second. But I just really wish their handles were better, man, because if K-Bar started doing better handles, I don't think there'd be another knife I like more than a properly gripped K-Bar. I mean, not K-Bar USMC style, like the utility, that it'll just never do it for me. Love it, hate it at the same time. But something like this, I would love this. Or the Becker series. If the Becker series just came stock with the micarta grips that they sell you on the side because they know they're giving you garbage grips to begin with, if it came with the really good ones that wouldn't cost them almost anything extra, it'd barely make a blip, they can sell them at the same exact price. The BK series could sell at the same price if they put on the micarta grips. And you know what you'd have? A near perfect knife. The BK2, one of the greatest knives on the planet in that segment. But the only thing that hinders it is the fact that they put on those awful plastic grips. Put on that, please, K-Bar. take the BK series, take the Becker series at least. If you're not going to do anything with anything else, take the Becker series and sell them stock with the Micarta grips. Obviously, this is not Micarta. This is with Micarta grips, and man, whew, those knives will get different kinds of feedback, different reviews. So, and they already get great reviews. Can you imagine if they were better? So what happened here is I had 3 chunks taken out. One small, one medium, is like a square notch taken out, and a pretty big chunk taken out of here. And I had 2 in here, and one of them, I thought at first it was a fold, but it wasn't. It was a slice. I mean, it came down, boom, on the hard one, on the big one here. It came down and it literally cut straight through, which was pretty impressive for this. But this was pretty impressive too, because it had 2 damage points and one was so minor that it took me a few to even notice it. So I mean, that's what we're looking at. But I fixed them. This one was a little easier to fix because the cuts weren't as big. So I didn't really lose much material here. You can see where it is. This kind of almost had a slight recurve to it in the beginning. Right here, it goes up a little bit and then comes down. It wasn't dead flat. So that didn't really change as much as it might look at first glance. But what I did do is I made it sharper. I don't know if you can even see. But yeah, I just gave it a different profile. I made the knife sharper. And it's just, I love my Mission 4. I freaking love it. So what happened with the K-Bar? Let's go over it. The guy who challenged me, and a lot of people came down on him pretty hard because of the challenge and because of what he thought of knives made in Nepal. But the guy, he just didn't know. I mean, he probably never owned a kukri made by the Kukri House. And I'll tell you, if you've never owned a kukri made by the Kukri House, or the guys in Nepal, then it's hard to really appreciate their kukris, especially those crazy, they look mirror polished ones. They're so perfectly done. It's incredible. I wish everybody would have at least one kukri from Nepal. Kukri House, I recommend more than anything. But you think about it. Now, I said in the video, I said, these guys have been doing it for hundreds of years. Obviously, the Kukri House has not been doing it for hundreds of years. The Kukri House opened in 1991. But here's the deal. The guys who work at the Kukri House have been in the knife business longer than 1991. The reason Kukri House opened is because the knives have become so popular, and they have furnished the British military. They needed to make more and more and more. So knife making in Nepal just skyrocketed. So more and more places started opening, but it's all the same techniques. They're using the same materials, and you get some crossover between blacksmiths. So it's for hundreds of years they've been doing it the exact same way. You'll see the guy on a floor, a dirt floor, with a hammer in his hand and a fire next to him, and he's banging away at the knife. They really do it the same way they've been doing it forever. And that's where the love comes in from a hand-forged blade, is you can see, like, this thing, I mean, it looks like it came off a press, right? Because it did. It's perfect. This thing looks like somebody made it by hand. And that's what makes it perfect if you love, handmade, blood, sweat, and tears type knives. And I would rather a blood, sweat, and tears type knife than any machine-made piece of perfection any day. There's something about them. There's more soul in the knife, right? There's soul. This is machine-made. This is handmade. And that's the difference. But quality to quality, I mean, you're not going to find better steel than right here. I mean, you're hard-pressed to find better steel. This is fantastic. For a big box store that mass produces knives, this is fantastic steel. Some of the stick tangs, nope. I would never, ever make a knife with a stick tang. Never, ever. So some of the construction, I would say no thank you. No thank you. That's the tang right there. No, it's weak. It's terrible. The grips, they just need to update their grips, and they just need to make them better. They need to make them fit the hand, like a normal person's hand. But I still love this. I love it. This one, I mean, I designed it so I know how it fits. I know what to expect when I grab it. When it comes out of the box, before it even gets to my house, I know what to expect. So that's really, it's not a battle of which one is better, because they're two completely different knives made by two completely ways, made by two completely different people, right? And it just doesn't matter to me who makes what. It doesn't. I just want to make sure that I get a knife that works. That knife works. This knife works. Period. Enough said. So when I got suckered in, and I let myself get suckered in to this thing, he tells me, right? He says, listen, he's a fellow vet, and he says, if you ruin your K-bar doing that, I will buy you a new one. Garrett, and he said, I give you my word as a veteran. That's all he had to say, and right away I was in. He needed to do nothing else at all to prove anything to me other than say my word as a vet. His word as a vet was all I needed. And this thing, you can see there was 3 major hiccups, and there's one tiny little thing right there. There used to be 2 more in there, but look at this edge. This thing is so super sharp. I ended up doing the entire edge, because if I did here, it would have created a recurve, and I just didn't want it because I love this knife so much. I love the way it's built. I love the way, I mean, not all the way built, but this part, I love the look of it. Like, even though I don't like this, it looks fantastic. But I was able to fix them, and you're thinking, well, why didn't you just get this one out? The damage that was done, that's the big damage. You can see how far down the wrinkle is right there. You can actually see that. And if I ground that one out, I would have had to go way down. I mean, you could see how far swoop down I had to go. So if I take this one out, then I'm losing a lot of material. It doesn't look like it. You think, oh yeah, but it's only right there. The amount of material I already lost was big. So to lose even more would have not been big. And I want it there for a different reason. It's a reminder. Don't be a dick. It was the most disrespectful video I've ever made. Disrespectful to these guys, disrespectful to these guys, disrespectful to you guys. Because I say all the time, I hate when reviewers purposely break a knife. I hate, like, but I'm talking like, this is how they just review every knife. Oh, I'm going to stand on it. Every knife, it's, okay, let's see what makes it its breaking point. That's disrespectful. I hate that. I hate it. So the fact that I went to a knife and just to prove a point and just to pull some Marty McFly, I damaged it. Man, that made me feel bad. But what I can say, and I told him, don't send me a new knife. He said, I already got it. I'm going to tell me where to send it. And I said, no, maybe he could do his own giveaway or something, or just add another one to his collection. He's really going to hate that. The guy's got a great collection. I said, don't send it to me, because I was able to fix it. And I was. You can see I wouldn't need another one. I just wouldn't. The gesture is there. It's real. The guy's completely honest. But I don't. And this is going to be the ultimate reminder, having that little tiny chip, because I'm not getting another chip in this. Why? Because I'm using this the way it's supposed to be used. I will never, ever take another challenge where I am going to hurt another knife with another knife. That jerk move. I'm going to call myself out. So that little nick right there is going to remind me to always be the knife guy I started out as, and always be the knife guy I want to be. So that's why I will not accept a new one as a replacement. It was my idea to take him up on his challenge. He didn't force me. He didn't twist no arms. So, Kev, man, you're awesome, dude. You're awesome. I get the whole thing, man. I get it. I get why the challenge happened. So, that's it. I just want to show you guys that they're both fantastic. I mean, they both look great. They came out great. And just a message on why you will never see that video happen again. This thing's awesome. Guys, don't ever think that that video was to say that this one is lacking, because it is not. Maybe this one just got lucky. You know what I mean? So, that's it. 2 great knives. They both had a little battle. One came out slightly above the other, and I mean slightly, so who gives a crap? But in different battles, they're going to be different ways. If this was a feather sticking battle, this thing is going to do it. If it was a slicing battle, this one's going to do it. If it's a chop your head off battle, this one's going to do it. That's just what it's made for. So, that's it. I am done with all that noise. Never happening again. Oh, that little chip. That's the one that's going to tell me why. All right. That's it for that. I am Donnie B all day. Till next knife.